Is Tower Fantasy worth playing? That is the question of the day. And if you don't already know what Tower Fantasy is, it is a free to play anime open world MMORPG that has gacha in it, but don't tell anyone. And it is available on Steam, its official launcher, mobile, and eventually Epic Games. Unfortunately, there are no plans to release Tower Fantasy on consoles in the foreseeable future. Hello, YouTube friends. My name is Karen, and let's unpack my thoughts. So, first things first. People love to compare Tower Fantasy to Genshin, and I think it's a little, I wouldn't say unfair or wrong, but I guess I don't really see the point in comparing the two since they're completely different playstyles. Okay, maybe not completely, but very different playstyles. Genshin is more so of a single player with co-op features, meanwhile Tower Fantasy is an MMORPG. And of course it's not like your traditional full-blown out MMORPG, but it is an MMO. Tower Fantasy was released in China 6 months before its global release back in August 2022. Honestly, Hada does a decent job at updating the game pretty frequently. Since the release back in August, we've already gotten 1.5 in September, 2.0 in October, 2.1 in November, and each update had a substantial amount of brand new content and new areas to explore. I play Tower Fantasy every single day. I'm not caught up with story yet. I'm definitely not 100% with all of my exploration, and to me, there is a ton to do. Of course, most people, or I wouldn't say most people, a lot of people use interactive maps or guides. That way they can complete exploration and such a lot quicker. And some people even do it in one day, which is like absolutely crazy to me. And since we usually get new content updates like every month, I kind of just try to savor the content. But then again, I can never complete it before the new content comes out. As far as gacha games go, Tower Fantasy is pretty free-to-play friendly. You still can't really expect to summon for every single character that comes out. You kind of have to pick and choose, considering there's roughly around 2 new characters per month. So the gacha system in this game actually makes it a lot easier than most gacha games to basically star up, advance, get consolations. Every game calls it something a little different, but in Tower Fantasy it's advancements, and basically it's just getting multiple copies of that specific character, and each time you do that it increases your stats or unlocks additional effects. I would say that there's a lot to do in Tower Fantasy, but as a new player, you just have to get past that initial 1 to 2 weeks because there is some content that is locked behind a time gate. So the game literally prevents you from completely no-lifing and completing everything in one go. Trust me, you're going to get a little peeved at the time gates initially if you do try out the game, but after the first like initial 2 weeks, you should be fine. They don't really implement any more time gates like that to lock you out of content. It's more so just like level caps, and you have to be a certain level to do certain content. Like your typical MMO, you have dailies, weeklies, and monthlies you can complete. For the monthlies, it's more so like PvP rewards since each season is a month from what I remember. And that's more if you care about PvP or try to min-max all of your rewards if you're a free-to-play player or just trying to get all the rewards for more husbandos and waifus. At this moment in time, we have 4 available 8-man raids, and each of them have 2 difficulties on normal and heroic. And the difference between the 2 is basically just like, of course, the difficulty of it for 1, and 2, the amount of rewards and the type of rewards you get. There's a lot of different types of 4-man dungeon type instances that you can actually grind for various types of gear, but that takes vitality along with a lot of other things in Tower Fantasy, and basically that is like their energy system, so that way you can't just continuously grind and grind and grind for better gear. Good news for you completionists out there, there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of achievements that you can seek out for. The game gives you a decent amount of rewards as well upon completion of these achievements. So you'll get things like additional currency for summoning, also rewards that'll just help you with your general gameplay. There's a good amount of story in Tower Fantasy right now. With each update that comes out, they usually add on to the story with the brand new areas and whatnot. The main story quest is fully voiced, and I've only listened to it in English and Japanese, but I will say that in Japanese it sounds a lot nicer. I do believe that they spent a lot of time and effort into picking and choosing these awesome voice actresses and actors. I will say though that Tower Fantasy story is okay. There are some parts that are like good, some parts are like super cute, super adorable, but nothing really amazing. So I wouldn't really say that people play Tower Fantasy for the story. We did touch on exploration a little bit earlier in this video, but there is a crap ton amount of exploration in Tower Fantasy, and with more updates we're gonna get a crap ton of more unexplored areas as well. And right now there is just so much. I'm still not 100% completion or completed in every single part of Tower Fantasy, and you do kind of want to shoot for these too if you care about exclusive outfits, exclusive cosmetic items. There's also just titles that you can shoot for as well in each different section or area of the maps, and of course just more currency to summon as well, which is like super duper important in Tower Fantasy. Overall, I will say that Tower Fantasy to me is super fun, especially when I'm playing with other people. So I end up repeating a lot of group content and stuff like that because I like to help other people or just like play with other people in general. So I get my solo stuff done, and then I just do a ton of group content in different instances. And like now that we just got a update 2.1, the new area is a little bit more difficult, so I also explore with my community as well, and we can actually just explore the new area together, you know, and help each other out. So I would say if you are going to start Tower Fantasy now as a fresh player, do a little bit of research, see which servers are active, or find yourself a community that you feel welcome in or at home, and try to put yourself in that community or in that server, so that way when you do have to do group content or would like to do group content, you actually have the option to. There's a decent amount that you can do solo in terms of main story quests, ruins, etc., but there is a lot that you can do as well with groups and with your friends. Plus, the game is free to download, so if you're at all interested, just download it, try it, you know, just try to keep an open mind, even though there's a lot circulating out there saying that Tower Fantasy is dead, Tower Fantasy is boring, it's just a bootleg of Genshin. Just try it out, you know, form your own opinion, give it a shot. And of course, if you're interested in joining the server that myself and my community are on, we are on Radiant, which is a North America server, and we will welcome you in with open arms. Join our crew, we help with runs, and if you have any questions, join up on our Discord, discord.gg/Karen, or my Twitch stream. I stream every single day except for Mondays and Tuesdays, usually in the afternoons. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and consider leaving a like and a comment down below. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!